Way to start. Get down now, okay. And game over. Alright, so last go around, with the new party member of Thad, the necromancer, he decided that he would take a little journey into an artifact that was uncovered by Melvitho. It was the Ring of Infinite Souls, and they were told by Drontellan that they needed to go inside of a smaller realm that was within the ring that used to be kind of housed by Dagon back during the War of the Necromancer. Inside the realm of Infinite Souls, or the Ring of Infinite Souls, were all of the souls that he captured during the war. And they were housed there in almost like a limbo-like place. And Drontellan wanted Thad and another individual, which was TJ's character, and now his name slipped my mind. I think I wrote it down. Damn, Nate, do you remember what it
was? TJ's character. I didn't write it down.
I think it was... We'll call him
it was something like... It was like Willie Nelson. Like, it was like something...
Yeah, it was something
familiar.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, they...
Buford?
Buford. That was it. Yeah. So Thad,
yeah, because I kept thinking of Buford Pusser, you know,
me
like
too.
the big walking tall.
Yeah, that's right. So Buford and Thad went into the Ring of Infinite Souls with the hopes of uncovering back the bracelets in order to make it to the Fade to gain...
I will be right back.
Okay.
Sorry.
To gain, to enter there... Upon entering there, they went through numerous places, met a few individuals, which some of them were callbacks back to the first campaign. I don't know if, Nate, you caught any of those, but there was Brivnock the Farmer, Philel, who is a...
Yeah, I caught all of it.
Yeah, key point. One of the other ones was the troll was actually Big T. And,
okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was Big T. So, after that, they were basically put into a pit to fight to the death at the expense of Giovanni, who was the sort of the steward of the ring. And upon being victorious by Thad was given the opportunity to keep the ring and continue doing what Dagon was doing, or destroy the ring, which would release the souls to Hodel, so they could finally rest in peace and be out of limbo, and he could call upon them for one time to use in a fight all of the souls that Dagon had captured. He destroyed the ring, but forgot to find out the instructions on how to do that, so he immediately had like a Homer Simpson dough effect. They returned back to Malifaux, where he actually brought back Ben to life in the process of doing so, because he was able to bring back a few souls. So he brought back Buford and Ben.
Wow.
And they were confronted once again by Koshka, where they were chatting about with Drontellan. And that is where we will begin tonight. So, actually,
I would just like to point out, Jess, that it was nothing personal, that like my character wasn't aware of you being there.
This is true. This is very true. Actually, I will take that back. We will not start there.
Oh.
Elowen.
Hi.
That is where we ended.
Oh God, let me pull up that sheet. Hang on. I mean, you can keep talking. I'm just letting you know I don't have her stuff pulled up.
It's all good. I'm getting stuff situated. All right. So, Elowen, another day has passed. You have done your usual queen stuff. Put up with Tiberius. Put up with Thalamin. You have gotten him off to sleep. The night is much colder than usual. There's been the temperature has dropped. Many people and citizens are starting to. There's a common cold sweeping through the area. You've been dealing with some of that. You've been uh, kind of worried ever since that Contus person showed up and had his little chat and mind controlled Roswellum and a few others. He has been the talk of the town. In fact, he's still in the town. He has been seen here and there, but no one knows where he's staying. So it has been worrying you, and you've been sending your guards out, I would think, to try to track him down or keep their eyes on him.
I assume I would have a most wanted poster out as well, and
Yeah. Watch out for this guy.
like reported to the inns that I'm at least close with.
Pervy Contus. But on this night, you fell into your usual sleep, where you were once again confronted by the dark.
It's that guy.
And you began to sense your old love interest, well, not your old love interest, I guess the newest love interest. And you could sense him nearby. You could hear the wolves calling. You feel like he's so close that you could capture the scent of him, and it's probably a pretty rank smell. Let's just be honest.
But it always was. It's fine.
It's fine. It's his natural scent. Those pheromones. But you can, even though it's pitch black, you being the daughter of the dark, almost you feel like you're slightly at home. It's always got that slightly homey feeling to you, even though it's not a place you want to be. Let's do just a general dexterity to see how fast you are running through the area to try to get a hold of him.
I am not very fast. I rolled a 6 with my dex.
Okay, so you're trying to make your way through the dark. Along with that, you can still hear like growls and like the slight faint howl of a wolf here and there. But you do begin to see, like, as you're kind of pushing your way through the dark, it almost feels like you're pushing your way as you move your hands out in front of you. You're pushing your way through a crowd of people. Every now and then you'll touch something, and when you touch it, they'll just kind of disperse into the fog. But the smell is getting closer. You're hearing a faint voice, like of his breath, almost like he's like struggling and he's restrained. What would you like to do?
I wanna. I assume I'm already calling out, or am I just wandering through the dark?
That's whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna call out.
Okay, do a listen check.
Oh, good. I have a good bonus on that. Oh, it's a 21.
Okay, with a 21, you being who you are and being that intimate with him, you can hear that it's definitely him breathing pretty damn heavy, and he sounds more of in distress, but you could tell like he's trying to say something to you, but it's almost like he's being restrained not to. But you do feel like you're getting close.
Is he the only one that I can, like, kind of sense in there?
As of right now, you could tell that it's a bad juju place. Like it's really, really evil. Like it's, but you don't feel the presence of good old Dad.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Well, how similar is it to the place where Salakel was being held?
Very, very similar. Very similar.
Could I call out to the wolves?
What would you like to say?
Are you friend or foe? And I assume Thalian would know I am not asking him.
Friend or foe. You hear many different voices coming from all the wolves that are around you. The majority say neither, and some say friend, foe, friend, neither, and it's just scattered all around you.
Well, I'm glad there's not hive mind involved. Could I... Perception is 5e, not... Okay.
Perception. Come on.
Could I roll a search?
Yes, you can.
Okay. 23.
With a 23, you begin pushing your way through the heavy, what feels like I said, like a crowd of people, but it's just like this heavy, thick fog. You push through that, and you're beginning to see a slight outline of a back that looks fairly familiar to you. You're getting itty bit closer. He's closer now than he ever has been in your thoughts. You can see his back. He's not looking at you currently, and you can see like the fog is running up his arms, and it does look like he's being restrained. What would you like to do?
I want to call out his name.
Okay. When you call out his name, you can see the traps in the back of his neck and how they run up to the back, and his hair kind of falls down, and you see him really struggling to just turn his head. None of the other body parts are moving, but you can see his arms and shoulders and stuff flexing like he's fighting just to turn around.
So I just want to call out, who is the captor?
When you say that, the darkness fades away just a tad, and you see just for a moment him staring back at you.
Oh, hang on. Oh.
And you wake up.
What is that, like a prisoner to his own demons deal?
You don't know. But you wake up in another very, very cold sweat. But this sense of, you do know that was him. He's not okay, but at the same time, he kind of gave you the sense of like, I got this.
I mean, he's always got this until he doesn't.
Truth.
I got this. Cannonball!
Into acid.
Okay. So, with that being done, now we will go back to where we left off at the other time. So, Jess, you're going to be on a slight break until you get introduced.
Sounds good. Do I have a few minutes?
Yeah, you got a few minutes. Do whatever you want to do. All right, so...
refill my water bottle.
Gotcha. Nate, you, Thad, you are back where we left off. Koshka, Dron Tellen, actually, I don't know why he's over there. Melvitho, oh, wrong one. No! You guys are back by the campfire after coming back. Still in the middle of the night. What would you like to do?
Let's see. Dad is going to go lay down next to one of the dead werebears and go to sleep again.
Okay. All right. So you go back to sleep as Thad. He lays down, nestled up against the cringy, gory-looking werebear once again. Oh, that's a little too loud. I'm gonna put some ambience on and have there we go. Some campfire going. All right. So that's not what I wanted. There we go. All right. So Ben, you were there speaking with Dron-Tellen, Koshka, and Melvitho as Thad has went off to sleep. So Drontalon looks over at you as he's holding on to his staff, kind of sitting down on a log, dead log there by the campfire, and then, so what was it like being in the ring?
Weird.
And
Don't really remember.
Melvitho speaks up and did ya happen to see Ori in there?
I think it's a bit of a blur. Where is she? Shouldn't she have come back?
Are you waiting for me?
No, not yet.
Okay.
With the ring destroyed, I am most certain that all souls within are now in Hodel. I believe she is gone.
Oh, that sucks.
You see Melvitho kind of he's sitting down all Indian style, and then he just looks down at the ground, very, very sad, and he sees a small tear go down his cheek. Koshko, on the other hand, is he's not making eye contact with you, and if he does, he just kind of like looks away. He's just kind of staring at the fire, but he does. You get the feeling of remorse on his face.
So why did you come back? I say to Korska.
I'm in need of, well, we'll just say that I'm in need of some companionship for right now. How about that? You kind of get the sense that he wanted to tell you something, but he's a little afraid of trust. It's kind of the feeling that you get from him.
So you come to the guy that you just killed with a dragon.
To be fair, I didn't kill you. Olivarius did.
Right.
I had no idea that you'd come back. I was nearby. I came over to speak to you the first night. Because
And then proceeded to chop my friend in half.
This is true.
So why would I trust you at all?
No, you don't have to trust me. I just wanted information out of you.
Could have asked.
I wasn't given the opportunity.
Because you chopped my friend in half.
This is true. We all make mistakes.
Mm.
I can't offer you power, though, in return for information.
Oh, you hand me over the reins of that dragon and we'll call it square.
I do believe it's going to take a little bit more work to get Olivares back on my control. Friend kind of screwed that up for me. But that's not the first dragon that I've tamed.
And how did you go about it the first time?
Dragons enjoy treasures and meat. Bring them enough of both. Converse with them in the dragon tongue, and they'll grow to respect you. And then I have my other ways that I would much not rather get into right now.
Sure. What's the story on this other guy? And I look at the creepy dead guy.
Melvitho speaks up, and he just kind of wandered up when you died. He really smells.
I wonder why. And I look over at him cuddling up next to the dead bears.
So Koshka speaks up and says that Drumtellin, I would like to take these guys over to the pack meet. And Drumtellin looks a little stunned, and it is quite dangerous to do. I will not recommend you do that, and I will not allow it. Koshka looks back at you, Ben, and looks over at Melvitho, and what would you guys like?
I would like to know what it is you're talking about.
The pack meet is the meeting of all the lycanthropes in the territory. They meet at the giant bonfire to discuss territory and trade. It is very dangerous. There's a cat in these woods. It must be Ember.
You know she's still around.
Yeah. I do fear it would be very dangerous for you and the prince to go amongst all of lycanthro.
What business would we have at a territory and whatever meet?
Koshka goes, the pack meet. Well, my hope is to tell them that you are a part of my pact and provide you safe entry through Lycanthro to the other tribes to get to wherever in Hodel it is that you're going.
Now, why would you do that?
In the hopes of saying sorry, I guess, and to get a little info.
What info?
I've done enough snooping to know where you're from. Tell me about your queen.
Which one?
John Tellin looks at you kind of like confused.
Not the only one.
Yeah. The Lady of Sinful is who I speak of.
I haven't seen her in years.
Interesting. What about the king?
Same.
Interesting. The last meeting that you had with him, or if any, what did you speak of?
I don't believe that's any of your business.
do believe that I'll still take you to the pack meet. Be good for you to get acquainted with them. John Tellon speaks up. But you should not go to the pack meet. They will try to turn you.
Well, where exactly should we go? I asked John Tillin.
Well, now that the bracelets are back, I do believe that you should continue on with your quest, or hopefully go down and get that book back that we discussed.
True. True.
Melvitho looks over at you and you I'll go wherever Ben goes. If that's okay.
How hard is it to control the turning? I asked. Korska.
Your first few times, not good. Very painful. Your whole body transforms. It feels like you're being ripped apart. After that, it gets easier. I'm not going to force you to turn. But what I can tell you is, if in the pack meet they suspect that you're not, they will grow slightly weary of you. But they respect me. Ben, do a listen check.
Nat 20.
Oh, snap. Okay. With a nat 20, as you're there hearing the crackling of the campfire, looking across over the flames, looking over the under Koshka's face, he's kind of glaring at you. You can hear off to the north at first, then to the south, and then it seems to be all around you. What is wrong? Do a will save.
Too many things at once. The will save is 21.
Okay, with a 21, you look down and you see that your left hand is starting to twitch and like contort and without your control. Druntellan actually stands up and he's like holding his staff. What are you doing?
Stretching.
Do another will save.
20, not nat.
See that your left hand, it's going up into all the way to your shoulder now, and it's almost doing like a wave-like motion. Melvitho thinks it's hilarious. Koshka actually has stood up and he's drawn like a Dragon Slayer. Ben, what is wrong?
The laughing man.
Uh, at this point, Thad, you would have woke up. Thad, do a listen check.
The 13.
With a 13, Thad wakes up to hearing Melvatho kind of giggle, like, oh, what's he doing? But you can hear very, very faint laughter in the woods around you, and it's kind of nice. But you see Ben, who is a guy that you just brought back, and you see as he is contorting and holding him, like trying to hold his arm down, he's bending over to keep his left arm unmoving, and everybody else is on alert. He looks back up after being wincing over in pain, and his face is shown in the fire for the first time, and he has a humongous grin on his face. Hi. And it's enough to make
Hello.
Drontellan like back up a bit.
Hello. That'd be my voice.
He's just looking around the campfire, and you see Ben moving with like kind of a hunchback posture, hands down in front of him, just very weird. Melvatho has actually stopped laughing. Why did everybody stop?
Who's asking that?
Ben.
No. I just woke up. What's
You
what's
look
going on?
terrific.
Thanks. I try. As I like throw like the dead werebear arm off of me and stand up.
Ben laughs a little bit, and Drontellan speaks up. Ben. Ben will save. At disadvantage.
It's a 24.
24.
20. Did you say that at a disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a 13.
Alright, so 13. Thad, you can see that Ben, his face contorts a little bit, like his mouth is trying to like move in a weird funky way, like he's fighting it, and then it just stops and goes back into a grin. Ben's not here.
Who are you?
Well, I have many names, actually. Let's go with Grin.
My knowledge, religion, I guess, to see if I know of them. Or like knowledge necromancy, I guess.
Sure.
If that would
let's
work
do
better. It's 33.
With a 33, you would know all of previous stuff that I've discussed about the Grinning Man. You would know, like, kind of a brief overview again, as like he usually comes in contact with kids, but not strictly kids, especially when they're alone or vulnerable. He takes them in the night. They go missing, usually never found. But he mostly haunts people's dreams and causes them to just go completely insane with his laughter.
Sweet. Oh, yes, I'm familiar with you. Love your work.
It's always good to meet a fan. Drontellan has now got his staff at the ready. Like I said, Koshka's ready to go. Melvatho has backed, kind of backed away, and he is actually now behind Koshka. Oh, where you going, buddy? Thought you'd go wherever I'd go. Oh no, I'm good.
So, what can we do for you?
Oh, little old me. No one's ever asked me that before. And he's doing all these weird mannerisms that you've never seen Ben do before. Just he's like actually now crossed his arms and he's like got his finger on his chin, just kind of tapping it. What would I like? I've tried to possess so many people before. The red one's gone. Oh, I know. What about, let's go try to take a god. Which ones are here now? He looks over at Koshka. What about your god? Koshka just shakes his head. I don't have any. I don't think so. Drontellan is looking back at you, Thad. And he's like... He's kind of like... He sends you a whisper in the air. And it says, we have to get out of here. And you can sense the fear in his arcane whisper.
I'm like leaning on my side. I'm like, I like shrug my shoulders like, why?
Sending a whisper, naughty, naughty. And then Drontellan, in a very Gandalf fashion, puts his staff on the ground, and you see a arcane light go around Ben. Oh, not trapped again. Drontellan's yelling at Koshka, get them out of here. So Koshka and Melvatho are starting to go towards this direction here. Thad, what would you like to do?
But I want to see what's happening.
Damn it, necromancer, I can't hold it! And you see him like shaking, and you just see inside Ben, it's just like he's peeking through like a kid at the zoo. Oh, you can't hold it. Just mocking him.
Alright. And I like head off after them.
Okay, so you head off into the woods. Koshka is high-tailing it through the woods, and Melvatho at one point stops because he's just running out of breath, and Koshka actually picks him up by like one arm and throws him over his shoulders, and he's just running, and he looks back every now and then to check on you. As all that's going on, you can see the light illuminating through the woods behind you, and you eventually see it diminish, and there's a loud boom, but at this point it's very, very far away from you. It's like after like probably 5 to 10 minutes of just running. You hear a laughter that shoots off across the woods, and then it goes back to just being just insanely quiet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna run and catch up with Korska.
Okay. He has since stopped. He's putting Melvatho on the ground. He's still got his sword. Are you alright?
Yes, yes. I don't like running.
Well, what can you tell me about that thing?
Oh, well, it's really powerful. What would you call him?
He's not really a
Uh,
god or a demigod. He's just more of a, like, just this evil entity, just pure evil. Like, he was created, uh, he was created in, from what you know, and not, I haven't like let on too much about him, but what is known in the world is that he was possibly made in Abyss, like the realm of Void, and he's just surrounded by this evil. Nobody knows his origin and why he was there, but somehow he's made his way into the mortal realm, and he just torments people, sort of like a demon.
cool. I tell him that.
Koshka,
He's kind of like a demon.
of course. Great. So as you guys stopped, let's have this would be a good point. You guys, are both on alert. Well, actually, all three of you on alert. Looking back, you guys off to, I guess, probably maybe your northern part of the woods, begin to see this kind of large humanoid figure come through the wood line, along with a much smaller figure walking beside it. And as they get closer, enough of the moonlight hits the faces, and you see that it is a half-orc, right, Jess?
Yep.
And a nice little doggy who looks like he's seen better days, walking up. Maya, at this point, you would be fully alert as to something big just happened from the direction that they came. Uh, with your arcane knowledge, you could sense that it was a dark energy, and it was on like a power level that you have not sensed before in your whole life. But yes, you walk up and you see this humanoid. Actually, I forgot. Actually, I drew a sketch of him. I can actually. You see this human who looks all raggedy. Let me turn on my camera for just a second. That's not the right screen. Sorry.
I'm trying to send a picture of my dog, and I can't figure out the.
So that's what you see of him. He's very rugged looking. That's Koshka. He's got scratches on his face. I'll have to like share it with you guys, take a photo of it. But he looks like he's got the scruffy hair. He's just hadn't seen a bath in a long time. Anyway, so you see him, and you see this weird looking guy, looks like Death, holding a big scythe, and a dark elf. What would you like to do?
Oh, that's how that works.
Oh, okay, I saw it. Nice.
That's not a little dog. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, alright, not a little dog at all. That's Jess's mount.
It's a wolfhound.
Yeah. Alright.
So I'm going to assume that she would have already kind of scouted the area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it popped up for me too. Okay, anyway. But yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to get to know her.
That's okay. Thad, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, so she just comes out kind of bewildered looking.
Hey, you know your dog is about to die, right?
Could say the same thing for you.
No. I don't mean that as a threat. Like he looks like he's about to kill over at any moment.
So at that point, and I'm still working out, I don't have a name for him yet.
Okay.
At that point, the dog would most likely react defensively and start growling at him.
Koshka speaks up, and I'm sorry. There's just something that just happened right over here. We're on guard right now. Who are you?
You tell me.
He just looks back at Thad. I'm not that good with women. And then he realizes who he's talking to when he asks that question, and then he just kind of realizes, like, obviously he's not either. So you're like, whoops.
Hold up, you can say that again. Headphones were cutting out.
Oh no, Koshka looks back at you after asking who she is. And she says, "You tell me," and he just looks back at you, Thad, and says, I don't understand women. What is she talking about?"
Which was actually me fucking up my wording, but you know.
I don't know what's going on here.
What was that explosion? Who did it come from?
We believe it was Drontellan, the Restulian court wizard. We got the heck out of there. So Melvitho is like freaking out, like he's like just in like a state of shock. He's not really saying anything. I suggest we keep moving.
Moving where?
Towards the pack meet.
What would I know about?
I would assume that you've been wandering around these woods, so you would be acquainted enough with the lycanthropes in the area, like maybe not on like a talking basis, but you just kind of like have been minding your own business as being your druid self, and they mind theirs, but you're not on any kind of talking terms with them. But the pack meet, you would know what it is. It's the meeting of all the tribes coming together as kind of like a night of peace for that one night at a giant bonfire, just to chat, no fighting, just to talk, and then it goes back to the way it is.
I'd like to join you for research purposes.
Very well. So he is kind of holding on to Melvitho. He walks off first, but then realizes that Melvitho is still in shock, and then kind of holds on to him, like one arm around him, and kind of leads him on. So you guys are, I'm guessing, following. But this give you guys a chance to meet and greet each other as you are walking in the dark.
Oh, and I calmed down my dog.
Okay.
As much as you can around that, anyway.
Yeah, understandable.
Have you ever thought about having an undead pet? I could help you with that.
I'd prefer to stick to my area of expertise, thanks.
Yes, well, if you ever change your mind, you know, just let me know.
That's unlikely.
I'm waiting to see the Thad and Maya love fan art. I can just already see this blooming into another relationship.
As she looks half dead from like traipsing through the forest all the time, and he just is half dead.
Jess and Nate characters, 3 for 3 love relationship.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, as soon as he came out with that, I was like, oh yeah, no chance with that one.
Yeah. Come on.
It's like the guy who sleeps with. Like, yeah, the guy who sleeps with dead things. Yeah, sure. So
I have standards, Nick.
Just don't die this time.
Yeah.
Wait, but 2 of my characters have died.
Just imagine Thad Thad trying to convince Maya to have a three-way. No, 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 they don't even have to be alive. Just saying.
Ugh.
I haven't actually equipped her yet. Like, I'll think of something, but I'm just gonna make sure that it's a really big stick involved.
Okay. Alright, yeah, tonight's all about getting to know the new characters, so should be good. Alright, so yeah, you guys are still walking. You see Koshka and Melvito in front of you. You guys can keep chatting. You do see off, kind of like far off in the distance, a small. Well, from this distance, it looks like a small campfire. But as you go a little closer and closer to it, it's starting to grow. Possibly think that's probably the big bonfire that he was talking about.
So, what can we expect at this meet?
Who are you asking?
Korshka.
He turns around as he's walking, just looks over his shoulder and then looks back, and should be the wolves, the tigers, rats, boars, and bears all gonna meet up. Should be a big feast. Plenty of food, water, wine, and then all the
Oh my.
I know. And the leaders will discuss territorial stuff, trade, and I'll make sure to tell them that you guys should have safe passage through Lake Ganthro.
Sounds boring.
There should be a lot of dancing, transformations. Should be plenty of research for you, stranger. Still haven't told me your name.
Still haven't told me yours.
I'm Thad. Thad Crawl.
What is your last name?
Thad.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Thad. Thad Crawl.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you now.
now you're good.
Yeah, it was cutting out for a second. And then Koshka turns around, and I'm Koshka, and this is Mel.
I'm Maya.
He doesn't turn around, but he says, "Nice to meet you." And but you see Melvito kind of turn around and like give you like a glance out the corner of his eye, and then he turns back around.
What's up with you, kid?
Just saw a lot of dead stuff tonight.
Yes.
That wasn't a lot.
Koshka, you can hear him kind of like mutter stuff under his breath. He's like, "Son of a but you guys are getting closer and closer to the bonfire now. And at this point, you're starting to see a lot of figures moving in front of the light, back and forth. Like people are still in like humanoid form, walking around the campfire. Look, at this point, they're just kind of talking. So you guys make your way up closer and closer, and then you see a few figures that come down from the trees. What are you doing here? Oh, Koshka. We're coming to join in on the pack meet. Oh, you don't have anybody in your pack. And then there's this really disgusting looking guy that has some really raggedy trousers, some insanely two front buck teeth. His ears are, they got, I can't think of the word right now. They look like what wrestlers have them a lot, like callus ears. He just looks like he's been mangled up quite a bit, and he kind of does that quite a bit whenever he gets done with the sentence. These ones smell pretty ripe, especially this one. Looking at Thad.
I'm gonna glare at him and activate my fear ability or my aura.
Okay.
Yes, it succeed on a DC 18 will save or becomes taken.
Oh shit! I rolled a 9 here. Oh, let's just go. You see him like kind of close his legs just a little bit, and you kind of see on the left leg, not too far down, you see a little stream run down. Koshka goes, we'll be going in now. We'll do whatever you want, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the gliding walk thing that he talked about last week, and just like glide past him.
Creepy. Alright, so you go past him where you see many other people in the shadows of the trees in the dark, kind of like looking about. And most of them, there's a mixture of humans and elves, dark elves. All of them seem to be, for the most part, kind of in either raggedy clothes or half-dressed and stuff. They're not worried about body images and body shaming. Their clothes get ripped up most of the time anyway. They don't give a crap. But as you make your way to the giant bonfire that's kind of, at this point, like 10 to 15 tall of just the wood, and the flames are shooting up in the sky, you see they are situated around the campfire due to the territory that they're in. So on the northern side of the bonfire you see people that are mostly of human and wood elf descendant. The leader looks to be that of a wood elf who we'll just say that he has very long blonde hair, beard. Like I said, they're not really clothed or anything, but they seem to be sitting there. On towards the west, you see once again a mixture of races, but this is a smaller figure, a smaller human female. That would be represent the bears. Over to the east, you see a dark elf who looks probably the most eloquent out of all of them. They just sitting very proper. Still looks just as dirty as everybody else, but he thinks highly of himself. That would be the were tigers. And to the south of the fire, you would see kind of a chubby guy. These are guys that look way more disgusting than all of them, and that would be part of the boars. And in the inner circle of them, you would see the leader of the were-rats, and he looks kind of similar to the guy that you saw at on the entrance. Most of them have the buck teeth, a little bit more furry, itchy. They just look like they just need to scratch all the time. Look very disgusting. But anyway, you see all of them kind of talking, chatting as you guys walk up. And Koshka turns around and kind of leans in to both. Stay very close to me. And then he like waits for acknowledgement. Okay.
Yes.
Maya. Is Maya here? We'll see.
She's there.
Okay. Maybe Jess.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello. Sorry.
oh, did you zone out?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's walking up to where the leaders are congregating. He asks you to stay close to him. Do you acknowledge?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys walk up and you hear just a mixture of all of them drinking the wine and chowing down on some venison, laughing, cutting up. What would you guys like to do, if anything?
I'm just gonna stay close to Korska.
Okay. Maya.
Yeah, I'm just I am sticking close, but I'm kind of trying to observe as much as possible. Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Thanks.
All right. So with that, I guess we'll go into the Nick one-man show. All right. So you walk up. Like I said, they are chatting. They seem to be on fairly civil terms at this point. And they see Koshka walking up. You see a few of them kind of like lean over and whisper something to the leaders who are not paying attention. And all of them look directly at you guys walking up. There's like a silence that kind of goes over with a few whispers here and there. You hear on the eastern side, that dark elf. He speaks up. Koshka, nice of you to make your way to the pack meet. Might I see that you have a few guests this time? That's very unusual for you. Finally decided to add to your pack. And the big chubby guy to the south, leader of the boars, he speaks up and he yes, I do believe you're right. That's the guy from the east again. He does seem to have added this. It's most remarkable. Come, all of you. Come over here. And he is waving for Thad and Maya. You two come over towards the eastern side. What would you guys like to do?
I guess I'll go over.
Okay, Thad?
I'm gonna glide over.
Alright, as you guys begin to go over, the woman from the bear, she says, "Don't you go over there. Come over with the bears. You stay out of it, share." And she's pointing to the guy to the east. "I simply wanted to give them some of our hospitality from the tigers. You can't get that possibly from the bears." And the guy from the south is, "Run, run, 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 run." You're right, Book. They can't possibly. And Koshka kind of stops you guys from moving. Don't go anywhere. The wolf, earlier the wolf speaks up. "Oi, tell me your names. I'm Solvet. What's yours?"
Maya.
Moya.
Dad.
Oh shit. The hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with this one, Koshka? I don't know. But they're with me. Well, of course they are, and all these are with me. I'm Cher.
Sorry, what?
He leans in a little bit, eyes batting. Cher?
No last name?
No. You haven't gotten the right to take it or to know that, my lady. Come on, Koshka, they can come hang out with the tigers. And then Bork, the guy from the south, speaks up again in his really weird mumbling. And Bork. And that's all Cher says. So you can tell that he said something very bad about you guys. Koshka speaks up and says that, I wish for my pack to have safe passage through Lycanthro. They are with me, and I wish no harm to come of them. So the chick from the Bears speaks up. That's fine, matey. It's fine, Koshka. But what made you change your mind about getting people in the pact? There's something else in these woods. Thad. Tell them of the grinning man.
And I proceed to tell them about the grinning man.
They're all sitting around the campfire listening to this knowledge of the grinning man, and you could see on the face of Cher and Salvat that they have heard of the grinning man. They have a slight fear in their eyes. Meta of the Bears and Bork don't seem to know. For the first time, you see walking from the center a little gnome with buck teeth come out. What the hell did you just say?
I was just telling them about
I heard
the
what you
grinning
said.
man.
Ain't no damn grinning man out in these woods.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm calling you a stinky son of a bitch, but ain't no grinning man out in these woods. And you hear, like, the other rats are starting to hold him back, and there's this little bitty gnome with buck teeth. Koshka just turns around and don't pay attention to Retro. He's he's probably the most aggressive.
Do you want me to kill him?
Koshka turns back around. Maybe later.
Good.
We need him for now.
But I'm hungry.
Koshka turns around, not getting the joke, and goes, there's plenty of food.
Forget it.
So, many other people come up and offer you guys food and drink. They seem to have accepted you guys into at least the shindig. So after a while of dining, conversing with a few people, what would you guys like to do? Would y'all like to talk to anybody? Because you're fully able to walk up and talk to pretty much whoever you want if you choose to.
I'm gonna walk up to the. No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait.
Maya.
I want to walk around and talk to them about their experiences with lycanthropy and how their how their changes work.
Okay. Who?
Anybody that she can get to answer her questions.
Okay.
She's like got a little notepad.
Alright, so we'll say that you go over to, I guess, solve it first. The wolf. He is there eating on a big, huge chunk of meat, drinking some wine. Looks pretty disgusting. But he's, like his blonde hair is just stained with the raw meat that he's eating. What can I do for?
What can you tell me about your experiences with lycanthropy?
Oh, are you some kind of reporter?
No, I have no interest in sharing this.
There. I'm from a long bloodline here. Lycanthro Pass is all I know. It's all I've ever known. I do remember being a young pup. There used to be a lot of pain, hunger. Now not so much. I've learned to control it.
So yours is genetic then?
We're all born here. You can pass it along. But I was born into it.
Interesting. And how would you say that the change differs from, say, a typical magical shapeshifter? Like a druid or someone?
I would say that we have a little bit more power and control over it. More fear. Probably not the beginning. But some of the most greatest lycanthropes are all born into it. My father, Bravor, was one of the strongest and fought out the dark long ago under King Phalos. But as to a shapeshifter, I don't know. I don't know any.
She's just like scribbling down her notes. That'll be all. Thank you.
Just give you a nod. Alright. Where are you going?
And she's just gonna keep like running around the campsite doing that.
Okay. So you go over to, we'll say, Meta next. And she is, although small in stature, she does seem to have like a very strong presence.
Yeah, she's my favorite so far, actually, from what you've described.
Okay. So she's there. She wipes. They're all eating at this point. She just kind of wipes her mouth with her forearm. It what?
I'm just gonna ask her the same things, like it's a... She's researching. You ask the same questions.
Fucking sucks. The younger you are. I just heard your conversation, you dumb... What are you doing?
I do research.
Fucking research.
Wait, what?
She's just muttering to herself. She's kind of looking back at her tribe.
Okay.
What, you want to be part of the bears?
I don't want to be part of anybody.
Ah. Well, it's pretty much the same. It sucks once you start off, but the bears are the most powerful. Everyone knows it. And she's just looking around. You do hear some stammering, like, in the center, as you see the gnome, and you're like, I'm about tired of this. And you just kind of hear that. He's just getting more and more just worked up. Hey, you're not gonna do nothing, little one. Come over here, bitch.
It's funny.
If you want real power, you should have never went with the lion.
Who's he talking to?
She's talking to Maya still.
Wait, what'd she say?
She said if you want real power, you should have never went with the lion.
I'm just gonna look her in the eye and say, your power has no interest. Holds no interest to me. Except a lot smoother than that.
Do just a general intelligence check.
Alright. A 14.
With a 14, and talking to her, you were keen enough to notice that she was very loud and flexing the whole time that she was talking until she said that line, and she whispered it. Almost like she was trying to be like, not trying to stir up something with Koshka. But after that, she just kind of goes back to eating, unless you got anything else you want to ask.
Your squabbles also hold an interest for me. I'll be moving on now.
She nods. So you go down to the south, where Bork is, with a lot of his men. This guy looks like, maybe a human version of Jabba the Hutt. I don't know. He's just
What?
he's very fat and disgusting. Just like just really smells. And when you try to speak to him and ask the same questions, he's just giving you a lot of. Just think of it as the Malifaux version of a Cajun. You can't understand what he's saying at all.
Ah, okay.
You're just sitting there doing a lot of
Is
nodding.
there a certain language I could speak to, like, understand what he's saying?
No, I don't think anyone understands Cajun.
That's fair, except Cajuns.
Yeah. How am I like it? Yeah. Alright. So you do a lot of nodding, I guess. And then he's just...
Oh, come on, but I speak Orc and Goblin. Neither of those help.
But you did notice that Shira was able to, at least, you're not sure whether he was pretending to know or he acted like he knew what he was talking about.
Question. Outside of game.
Mm-hmm.
Were you basing his name on Shere Khan?
Oh, of course.
Okay, because I heard Cher, and I was like...
Yeah. I thought
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, calm. Mowgli. Alright. Where would you like to go next?
Passively, I was going to just continue doing that. Until they round us up or whatever.
Okay. Well, it is getting down to nitty gritty, so you can either go to share or retro.
Oh boy, that's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go share.
Share. Okay. So he's like propped up on one hand as he's sitting down, very much like a Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, as he's like laying there on that table, like eating his meat. Hello. See, you've been making your rounds. What would you like to know?
And I repeat questions.
Okay. Well, I will say that turning into a tiger is amazing. You're very strong and agile and fast. If you ever have a scratch, it's very easy to itch. Bathing is a plus. You can lick whatever you want. It's amazing, really. Anything else?
That would be all.
Do a listen check.
I'm on the right page. Let's go with the 15.
15. You can hear back towards the center. Retro. shouldn't even come talk to me. You want to know about the real power. But the food is starting to go away now. You hear Salvat speak up and say, "It's time for the ritual. Everyone back away except for the leaders."
Except for the who?
The leaders.
Oh, okay.
So Koshka signals you back over, Maya. Do you go over?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he tells you guys to kind of hang back, kind of on the outer rim. You see the leaders begin to gather around the campfire. They invite Koshka over, but he kind of shakes his head no. And you begin to see them kind of join hands around the fire. And it's just a brief, like, just moment of just pure silence to where the forest, sounds of the woods just completely die off and you hear nothing but the fire. And then all of them begin to change into their forms. Were tiger, boar, were rat, bear, and wolf. And after they turn into that, all of their band of lycanthropes begin to also, they just kind of howl and hoop and holler, whatever they want to do, into the sky without transforming. Koshka and you guys are just kind of standing there just observing. But all of the leaders then turn into their bright forms. Bright bear, rat, bright boar, bright tiger, bright... well, there is no bright wolf. So, after that is done, you see above the campfire a gleam of light shoot down over the fire, and above it you see this individual descend from the top of the bonfire and come down to the ground. He's covered in furs. He has just a barrage of necklaces that all they have different different teeth of different beasts on it. And you see all of the bright creatures and Salvat, the werewolf, bow down, and so do all of the other tribes. Koshka does not bow down, and he tells you guys to stand up. But they begin chanting Palunk. Palunk makes eye contact with you all. He begins going around and asking them to rise, and he kind of greets all of the bright creatures, and as they transfer or descend back into their normal form. There's some talking going on. What would you guys like to do? Everybody's they seem to have kind of started to circle around the god now, all of the tribes. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna follow Koshka's lead.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Koshka is standing on the outskirts. He doesn't seem to want to take part in meeting Palunk. But after a while, after everybody has talked and met with Palunk, they have went back to their spots for the most part, and Palunk walks over to Koshka, and he extends his hand to shake. Koshka does so, shakes his hand, and you hear Palunk for your new character's first time speak. And, "We need to talk." And Koshka points over in the woods away from everybody. What do you guys want to do?
I guess I'll just go with
Telling
it.
us that we need to talk.
He's talking just to Koshka that they need to talk. He doesn't want to talk to you guys. Do y'all want to follow, or what do you want to do?
What do we do, Koshka?
Stay here. And they both walk over into the woods away from everybody else. And they walk pretty far in there just because there's a lot of lycanthropes there that had really good ears. But what do y'all want to do?
I was gonna say, how high move silently would I have to roll?
You can sure try.
Yeah, no, okay, it's not worth it. It was like... Oh, let me remath. Yeah, it was like a 16-ish.
16's not bad for a druid. That
For a half orc.
What are you doing, Thad?
I'm gonna reach in my pocket
Okay.
and pull out a toad frog who happens to be my familiar, which is a tiny imp, like
What?
demon creature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a quasit. If you have the monster manual, it's there on page 46 if you want to check them out.
Okay.
But so I'm gonna pull them out of my pocket and like whisper to them. I would like go find out what they're saying, try not to be seen, and I'm gonna set them down on the ground.
Okay.
And he has invisibility, so
Interesting.
he can do that once a day.
So he's an imp-like looking creature?
Yeah, it says a tiny humanoid-shaped creature with spiky horns and bat wings hovers nearby. Its hands and feet are long and slender with long claw-tipped digits.
Okay, cool. Just because I don't get a huge opportunity to use this voice, I think I'm going to use it now.
Yes, Master, we go right away. We get to it. We get to speak over. We get to see. Yeah.
And he flies away. And as he flies into the tree line, you see him go invisible. Now, when he's listening, do you listen through him, or does he have to come back and tell you everything?
I have a empathic link as a familiar.
All right. So with that, let's say he gets pretty close to them as they are in the wood line. And okay, so you'd be able to see too, yes?
I'm checking that right now. It says it's the empathic link. The master cannot see through the familiar's eyes, but can communicate empathically.
Okay. All right. Well, with that then, I don't have to really describe it, but you can hear that Tlunk begins speaking first. What the hell are you doing? I've been looking for you for a long time. And Koshka remains silent. It's been 2 rotations and I haven't heard a word. Well, you were busy with someone else. Don't start up for that crap again. That was Vesh's idea. I gave you the power and you didn't use it. Because we had a deal that I would get to fight him. And you went back on that deal. You can't go against the High God. It was the Oathbreaker and Keeper and him that fought off the Dark God, not you. You told me I'd face him. You went back on that. He also told me I would see my stepdaughters. When I brought you over here, they were already dead. Then you should have left me on that world to die. You were my first choice. I gave you the bright power. Doesn't matter. I found a way to get your daughters back. The smelly one. He wants to go to Hotel to work on that ring to gain some power. You could take these amulets, find your daughters, and bring them back. Want me to go to the land of the dead? Yeah. There's a passageway in Daisy Canyon back from Shalvo. The wolf went there before. You can go there again. If you die in there, it's over. You can't come back. And I'm to take these other ones with me. Yes. We're running out of time. The darkness has already taken Luna. The dragons have come from Dragnor to help, but we're outnumbered. I am to meet with the Queen, because I've lost the other body of the Red Wolf. We're losing the war. Will I face him afterwards? Once it's all done, I'm sure he'll be willing. My power's grown weak. I'm going to use the rest of it to meet with the Queen. I don't even have the energy to take you over there. Be wary of Lady Elowen. See her seal, put a curse on you with her. What sort of curse? You'll see. And then the imp starts to come back, and then as the imp kind of comes back, it fades back in, and you can see his form.
Did I do good, Master? I tried to listen the best I could.
You did good.
Oh,
You see Palunk and Koshka walk over. Palunk walks over to the rest of the peeps, and Koshka walks over to you guys. We're heading back to Rastula in the morning. We're going to buy a ship, or hire a ship to take us back to Shavo. Thad, I think I found a way to get to the land of the dead.
I'm all ears.
Well, Maya, I don't know if this is any interest to you, but apparently there's a doorway in Daisy Canyon somewhere where we may be able to gain entrance into Hodel. I hear there's something that you need in there.
How would you know?
He was actually saying that kind of to the group, but he was referring that to Thad, and then once you spoke that up, he was like, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
Care to share? You don't have to.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. Your volume went down for a second.
Ooh. I said, you can share if you'd like to, but you don't have to.
Oh, no.
Okay. Alright. So I guess we will, be off in the morning. He takes, Melvito and goes over to a spot where, he's going to bed down. Do you guys want to do anything?
Is the little rat guy still talking smack?
He is more drunk now, but he turns into a little bit more of a happy drunk.
Ah, cool. In that case, I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay.
Same.
All right.
I'm gonna leave Tiny, my familiar. I'm gonna leave him as watch
Okay.
in his like toad frog.
Okay.
Type form.
Nice. All right. So you guys, listening to the campfire and being surrounded by lycanthro friends, probably have slept the safest that you've slept in a very long time. At first you were kind of like, oh, I hope they don't bite me. But then, you know, everybody's been pretty chill with you at this point. Koshka's there, Palunk, they're mostly kind of fascinated by Palunk being there. So you guys got some good rest. So you guys awaken in the morning. Sun is out, birds chirping. Most of the people from all the tribes are starting to go back to their respective territories at this point. Koshka is already up, getting some breakfast and stuff, and he is ready to go. What would you guys like to do?
Let's go.
Eat and then go.
Okay. Eat and go. Melvithil eats very, very little. You can see that he's still very shook up by everything that's going on. But we will... Is there anything completely urgent that you guys would like to do? Otherwise, I'll jump ship and do something I usually don't do and just jump ship straight to when you guys make it back to Ristula.
No, that's
Okay. Alright, so I would say that it takes majority... being with him, walking really, really fast, it takes the majority of the day, but you guys do make it to Ristula, and made it there in a day this time because you didn't have all those encounters, and now that you're free to roam in through the Lycanthro, you're pretty much left alone. You always get the feeling that probably somebody was watching you in the tree line, but there was really, you'd see the occasional deer or rabbit or squirrel. Other than that, nothing. So you guys were just trotting through. You did go past the location of where the Drontellan light explosion happened, and you could see remnants of that on the ground. A lot of the trees in that area were knocked down from the force of it. No tracks were left, no sign of Drontellan other than a shattered staff. But you guys do make it back to Ristula, where everybody seems to be, it seems to be relatively normal there. Many people out and about. I would say that you've been there before, Maya, but it wasn't somewhere where you'd really like to stay. Obviously, being around people, I don't think druids would really like to do that quite, quite too often. Thad, you've also been there before, but you always get the feeling that people were obviously looking down upon you for the way you are and the way you dressed. And Melvitho, Melvitho has put on the hooded cloak. He seems to be trying to stay hidden. And as you guys make it back, Koshka is like talking to him and trying to get him to go back to the castle. But he doesn't seem to want to go. Do you guys want to say anything?
No, I'm pretty good.
Okay. Maya?
As far as I know, I'm good.
Okay. So after doing some chatting, Koshka convinces him to return to the castle. Afterwards, he takes you two and heads towards the docks, where you guys have to go through a much shorter version of customs. Make sure you're not taking anything out again. Where you see a dark elf Restilian guard come up. Koshka's first. He's just going, like, giving him a pat down and tells him to go on through. Maya, you're next. He comes up. Come on. Extend out your arms. Let's see what you got. And he's about to give you a pat down. Will you allow it?
As far as I know, I shouldn't have anything, so yeah.
Okay. He just very, very quickly, he just kind of goes over and, okay, ma'am, you're going to. Next. And he signals Thad up. And he's like looking down on a piece of parchment as you walk up, and then looks up and just go on through. Okay.
Yeah, like nod my hooded head and like glad that, like over to the rest of the guys.
Okay. So you guys go on down to the dock, where you see a few big ships that are there, and they seem to be they're bringing in different spices and sugars and all sorts of crates. They look to be quite booked up and busy, but there is one other boat there called No Name, and so you see just I would say just a handful of guys that are on that boat. It looks like they're getting ready to go. Koshka goes over, and you kind of see him chatting with them off in the distance. See a coin purse exchanged, and he signals you guys onto the ship.
I'll get on.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are untied from the dock after you guys get on, and the sailing begins. So we'll go from there. You guys are out in the sea, the sails drop down, everything's good. After you guys are moving over towards your destination, Koshka is talking with you guys and says that we are to dock at Sinfall. It seems that the docks at Eramalora are still on hold due to different conflicts with the Dark Elves, so we have to travel further south. I hope that's okay with you all. Are there any bad vibes in Sinfall?
I don't think Maya would have ever been to Sinfall.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Thad would have been either. Well, no, I'm sure he would have been there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
There's a lot
whatever,
of death there.
it's whatever you want your backstory to be at this point. It's no big deal. So it can be if you want, or it cannot be. It's fine.
Yes, but it's been some time.
Well, let's hope so, because we will have to meet with the Queen, as so told by good old Pelunk. I need to speak with her. So I hope that won't be a problem.
Not for me.
Me neither.
Alright. So you guys continue on. Everything's going well. Most of this, you guys have been out, I would say, for about half a day, and eventually the captain of this ship eventually makes his way over to where the rest of the crew seem to be, doing their duty, like washing the deck and attending to the ship. Not a sailor, so I'm not going to get in big popping out terms and stuff. But the captain eventually walks over and human, younger looking, probably looks like he's like late 20s, starting to get a little stubble of a beard, no captain's hat. But he walks over and you guys are enjoying the ship? Dilly here. How are you doing?
Good.
And my lady?
I'm just gonna give him a nod.
Okie dokie artichokey. Everything squared away, Koshka? We're good. Thank you, Dilly. He gives you a little nod and like finger guns. Throwback. And then he goes back up to the So he goes back up to the captain's quarters. Is there anything that y'all would like to do?
I imagine that she's not going to be entirely thrilled to be on a boat.
Probably not. Probably not.
So we're going to relax.
I'm going to go talk to this new person that I have no familiarity with.
Which new person?
Maya.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Hi. So, how you doing?
Well, I'm a half-orc on a boat.
So as you guys are chatting, Dilly yells to his crewmates to start singing shanties.
And now they're singing.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
And the dog's just gonna kind of do like a rumble of a growl when I say that.
So, what do you do?
Wait, what? You say, what do you
What
do?
do you? Yeah, what do you do?
I'm a researcher.
What do you research?
Well, I'm a druid. What do you think I research?
Animals and such, I guess.
Not far off. More like the ability to transform into animals.
I am a necromancer.
I hadn't noticed.
Yes, well. Trying to keep up appearances.
You know, you don't have to wear the dead on yourself to tell people you're a necromancer. You could just get business cards.
This is easier.
What?
Plus, it keeps people away. I'm not really a people person. Unless
And yet
they're
you
dead.
approached me.
Yeah, well. I try to get to know people.
That
It makes
no
it
sense.
easier. Well, it makes it easier after you're dead. Not saying, like, not a threat again. Just. Yeah, now you see what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. I get it. You're right.
Koshka just over there shaking his head.
I'm gonna kind of like not pat him on the shoulder, but do like the hover hand kind of pat.
Like to Thad?
Yeah.
Okay. There. Um, you do notice that Koshka is kind of off over on the side of the ship, kind of looking out. But y'all both do a spot check.
So,
Oh, it's not very
17.
good. It's like an 8.
An 8. Okay.
She's seasick. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I had a 17.
Alright, so with an 8, you can see, Maya, that he is holding, looks like a piece of parchment. Got something scribbled on there, obviously. He's looking at it. Then he looks out at the distance. Thad, you see that on the parchment from the angle that you're sitting that it looks like there is a sketch of some sort. And you do notice that on his left cheek there was, not sure if it was a stream of sweat or a tear that kind of goes down into and just kind of fades away on the skin. Then he just wipes it off. And then he folds up the piece of paper and puts it back into a pocket near his chest.
Okay, like at a game, are they singing Lever Johnny?
They just got done singing that.
Okay. Yeah, I listen to sea shanties when I'm at work sometimes.
Yeah? Yeah, they just got done with that one. Alright. Anything else y'all want to chat about or do?
I feel like I'm just gonna like lay on the nearest bench and hope it doesn't break under me.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to Corsica.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, how did they die?
Excuse me?
And I'm going to, like, gesture to his pocket.
Oh. Say, he's very hesitant about even talking about it. He's like, let's just say they were murdered. And I'm trying to find that person.
How?
How am I going to find the person?
No, how were they murdered?
They were, killed at an inn about 20 rotations ago.
I'm sorry.
You look shocked by that. Are you?
I prefer death to be more natural in most cases. Sometimes it cannot be helped. Sometimes people ask for it. But other times, it should be natural.
Well, this one was not natural. And I planned on finding him. And then I'm going to kill him.
Sounds good.
How long you been doing this?
Oh, all my life. You see, I was born in a well, I wasn't technically born. I was born in a tomb. It's a long story.
Right. Aren't we
You
all?
see, yes, yes. You see, my mother uh, died, and they buried her. And I had yet to be born, and then I was, and it's very complicated.
Sounds terrible.
From what I can remember, yes. But that is how I came to be. Yeah, it's funny.
He just kind of grins, but he's not really like grinning. It's more of like a weird grin. He's like, yeah. Well, what was it that you did in Sinful that we might have to look out for?
I may have stole some necroptic text from the university there.
Hmm. That's definitely not good. So,
Well, I'm not sure if they figured out if it was me. You see, I studied there for a while under Afrin.
I see.
I met Dagon once. That was cool.
Yeah. I'm sure he's an idol of yours.
Yeah, somewhat.
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Most of us are.
It's very true. Yeah, well, they know how to get down on this ship.
Yeah, they do. I think you're listening to the same one I listened to. It's like 30 minutes worth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Or it's like
playing
an
it.
hour. Yeah.
It's playing them over and over. So yeah, you guys are chatting and stuff, but I guess it's starting to go later into the night, so the shanty's kind of calmed down. There's only a few people on the crew that are left awake. Would you guys like to sleep throughout the night?
Might have to sleep in the real world soon.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here in just a few more minutes.
Cool. Yeah, I'm probably gonna sleep just because she is not acquainted with the sea at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably am too.
Okay. So you guys awaken after sailing for quite some time. To kind of fast forward a little bit more. So next game we can get down to it. But you guys awaken to the hustling and bustling Sinfall, where you guys are met at the dock. Don't go through the most after going through Restulian customs to here, there's not much of a check, but there is some by the Red Dragonborn, but it's not as thorough. Is the word I was looking for. But you guys go through where you're gonna walk through the city. That it would be. Actually, with him have been going to the university. So yeah, he would probably have seen the city in this state. It's a pretty big city. Not as big, I would say, as Ristula, even with the score blessing. But you guys go through, quickly see the castle area where Lady Elowen would be. And so Koshka is wanting to go there. What would you guys like to do?
I'm just tagging along, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So you guys go up where you're the guards at the front gate obviously are there, and Koshka convinces them that they are on orders from Palunk to speak to the Queen. And at this point, I would say that Lady Elwyn probably would have had some sort of quick message from Palunk. We'll just say that it was very brief, since we're running low on actual time in real life. It was very brief. He sounded in stress, and you couldn't quite make out all of what he was saying due to his energy level, I would say.
How much did I pick up on?
You got enough to know that someone named Koshko was coming by and that there was more to what he wanted to say, but that's when the telepathy or the message spell kind of wore off and you kind of lost contact with Plunk. So at least you got one name out of it. They were aware of it. They allowed Koshka, Thad, and Maya in, where you guys go into the grand hall. And you see a smaller, frail-looking fellow, very finely dressed, and hello. Speaking to Thad, and he kind of reiterates, "We're here to see Lady Elwyn." Oh, aren't we all? How? Oh, dear Lord, what's wrong with the one in the black robes? Hello, another orc. Nice to see you. He walks over to extend his hand to kiss it, Maya.
And I'm just gonna look slightly bewildered and kind of extend.
Okay. And he gives you a small little peck. Then he goes over and kind of forgets that Thad is there and extends his hand. Never mind. Anyway, we can just come over here. I can make you... Would you all like some tea? Any refreshments?
Some water for the dog would be great.
Doggy? Oh, that's big. Big enough to ride. What's his name?
That's a great question, isn't it?
It is a great question. That's why I asked. I'll go get some tea. You think about it. He runs off, and Koshka looks back at you guys, kind of like going, "Oh God." At this point, Lady Elwyn, you have been told by the guard that the guy named Koshka is there to see you. As you're in, I guess you'd be kind of in the back somewhere, maybe tending to Elwyn. Would you like to go, or would you like to do something else?
I mean, I'm gonna go, but just so you know, out of game, in my head, I have an image of, please remind me the head of my guard's name.
Rascalum?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Do you know DJ Khaled, how he always has that another one line?
Okay. Yeah.
Just every time there's a visitor like Thad.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna go meet them after everything's settled with Elwyn.
Okay, so as Lady Elwyn is coming out and sitting in the throne, the nice big grand chair, Tiberius is also bringing out the tea for you all. And he says, here you go, and he gives it to Thad. There you go, you just grab it yourself. How about that? We can do that, right?
I'm going to take it and I'm going to lean over to Maya. See what I mean?
You do look familiar. He kind of looks a little closely.
Boo.
Oh, dear me. And he kind of walks off a little bit, and you hear him whisper, "A little bit of pee came out," and he walks away. All right, so Koshka begins slowly walking up to the throne. He is stopped by Rassilum. Bow to the queen, and you see Koshka actually bow. Do you guys bow?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Lady Elowen, take it away. I'm not going to ask you. You don't have to speak for. I'm not going to call on Maya, so I'm not going to put you through that.
Thank you. Thank you for your performance tonight, Nick.
Yeah, Nate Dogg
I see how it is.
Yeah, Nate Dogg last week. I made him go through like a 15-minute like conversation with himself. It was great.
Yeah, I kept getting confused on which voice
Who you were talking as.
He's like, "Oh, how you doing?" Yes, all right, yeah. All right, Lady Elowen.
How can I help you?
When he gets up from his bow and sees you up close for the first time, you see his face kind of light up with like awe, like not just because Elowen is like very, very pretty or anything. It's that, but like he hasn't seen you in a very long time.
Do we know one another?
And Maya and Thad see Koshka for the first time start to like lose his words. He's kind of like doing that. Cyan? He says a name. As Elowen would have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I assumed.
And
Are
then,
you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm sorry, Lady Elowen. And he like stops himself and like looks down, and I was sent here by Palunk to and you see like you guys, especially Maya and Thad, would see that this is the first time after being in the pack meet dealing with Druntellan, the grinning man. This one's really like set him off. Like he seems very shaken. Not like he's scared, but like he's I would say love struck, or like it's a long lost like feeling after seeing somebody, but he's trying to hide it. And Elowen, you're definitely picking up on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have Tiberius. I'm gonna grab Tiberius and ask him to prepare a smaller meeting room, like with more privacy.
Sure, the council room. We have not been down there. You guys are going to get to see the council room. We haven't been down there in a long time. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. And he wanders off. You see Rosalind just shaking his head. Oh, God. It's not necessary, my lady. Koshka speaks up. I don't want to take too much of your time.
I have all the time in the world these days, it seems. And you look like you have something on your mind that you're not prepared to speak in the Great Hall.
That's true. So yeah, a few moments go by. I would say Tiberius comes back up. Ready. So Roswellum,
follow me, please.
Yeah, Roswellum is very, very close by. And you guys see Koshka beginning to walk down over to the steps that lead down into the council room. You guys want to follow?
Sure.
Yeah, I assume so. I mean, I think Elowen would have beckoned all three.
Okay.
Assuming that they were all together.
Okay. All right. So you guys go down into the... Actually, I probably still have that picture somewhere or another in one of these pictures files. You guys go down into the council room, and I would assume that you guys get all situated. What would you like to ask?
Me.
Yeah, Elowen, what would you like to ask?
Now, why did you react that way when you saw me?
I I was told by Pelunk that I should be weary of meeting you due to a curse, but he wouldn't tell me why. Um, there was one that I knew back where I'm from that looked exactly like you. We were wed, she had 2 daughters, and we were happy. And all of it was taken away about 20 rotations ago. Where are you from?
I'm sorry to hear that happened to you. It's widely known in the kingdom that my past is questionable at best. The most I know is that I was raised in a dark place, and apparently I have been told that I've done some dark things in my past, and I don't remember them. I can't even say I'm
me
human.
too. Sorry.
Tiberius goes, is it? Wait. And Rosalind says, shut up, Tiberius.
Oh, he's still getting arrested. It's going to be so great. Okay. Anyway, it's an odd one you've got with you, huh?
He is.
I don't know why I look like your wife. From what I know, I've never been married formally, actually. That means nothing.
No, well, I believe you. There's more about me than I've let known, even to my companions here. During the end of the War of the Necromancer, I was brought over here by Pelunk from another world. A world that ended. One that your king was from.
I know the one you're talking about. Not personally, of course, but, well, from Thalion.
So, I would assume that you look, or my wife looked like you as a ploy from the gods to distract me. And I would say that it's working.
The gods do like to play those tricks, don't they?
I'm gonna lean over to Maya. Like, that's awkward.
Tiberius, who's kind of sitting next to you now, go, yes it is. I think he's trying to mac on Lady Elowen. Tiberius, shut up. So he speaks up and says that we were sent here to gain passageway into Holdell and Daisy Canyon to uncover some secrets of a ring that the one called Dagon used to have.
Dagon is my son. And as far as I know, he is dead.
What?
Or is that what?
No.
It's like him learning that Elvis Presley just died. Oathbreaker came down here, the whole brother thing, killed him, whatnot. Now he's gone. It was a whole charade. Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
it
I
seems
didn't.
my not so newly found brother decided to murder his nephew. For
At that point, I'm gonna stand up. That bastard.
thought he wasn't a fan. I'm gonna plug my computer in real quick.
All right.
Possibly.
So, Koshka, after telling this information, he says, well, is there anything that you would like to know of us, my lady, before we head off?
What business brought you here besides Plunk? I'm sure you didn't just come to hear my sad little life story.
Well, I was doing a lot of thinking while I was on the ship over here. And I do know that it was his item, but I found it. But after seeing you, I would like to extend this to you. And he pulls out his sword, where you see the Dragon Slayer, which was Thalian's sword. I would like to give it to you.
And I would like to know how you found it.
I will give it to you and tell you all the information if you agree to a private dinner and an evening walk with me. You see Tiberius go, oh snap.
Indeed.
If it's only companionship you seek, then I will allow you that. But be wary that I am still faithful to the king.
Understood. And he wraps the sword up in a kind of like an older cloak and puts it on the table. Tonight then.
What do you say?
I said tonight then. He's asking a question.
Yes, may as well.
Very well. I look forward to it. He extended
do I.
his hand as if he was going to give a little smooch.
Maybe it's best to avoid those formalities.
I see. Well, I shall go freshen up and meet with you in the Grand Hall.
And I'll nod to him.
Okay, so Koshka walks back up the steps pretty much by himself, leaving you the others there.
Big fan of your son, by the way.
I don't believe it was my son you were a fan of. More my father.
Who's your father?
If you heard of Void.
Oh my god. I mean, honestly, I'm more of a Salakale fan, but that's freaking
Oh,
cool.
that's my ex-husband.
Well,
I know. It was shocking to me as well. Just as shocking as when you stole those damn documents, Cedric Bartholomew's scroll.
Who's saying that?
Tiberius.
Tiberius right there. That's his Tiberius voice.
Yeah.
Um. Technically, I just checked them out of the library.
Well, they are past due.
Can I just pay the fee?
It'll be 1,500 gold. And I would like a 2,000-word essay on why it's not good to steal. Rosfellum leans in. To you, Elowen, can you do that?
I'm just gonna look at Rossville and go, looks like you might be out for your job.
That's pretty good. I hate writing.
You know, considering the academic nature of the crime, that sounds reasonable.
I usually just punch people and stuff.
You can't punch people for stealing a library book. Like, that's a perfectly reasonable request that he's made. He's paying the fine and he's writing the essay.
Oh, excuse me, Black Robe. If I punch you in the face, would you rather do that or write?
Honestly, I'd rather take the punch in the face.
No!
But
No!
Restful, do you want to punch him in the face?
I love punching people in the face.
Have you seen his face? No offense.
Actually, no one has seen my face. It's
Yeah.
under the hood.
It's covered up really well.
Like, have you smelled his face?
It's such a mystery. I just want to punch it.
I know, right?
No. Essay writing for you while Lady Elowen goes on her date. Oh, I'm so excited for your date.
It is not a date.
It's so a date. Oh, man.
I'm gonna start calling you Roz.
That's cool.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That is actually pretty cool.
Thanks.
Oh, it's almost like having the old gang back together.
Most of them died, actually. Most of them died.
Did they?
No.
Where's the Minotaur?
He's
Well,
with Daxus. They're out he's teaching
Both
him how
alive?
to fight. Yeah, they're still alive.
My brother is unfortunately alive.
He's doing his thing.
The alien is questionable as always.
Poor Dagon.
To be fair, as we all know in this kingdom, dead doesn't mean dead.
That's true. That's very true. I do it all the time.
We did never see the body.
Sometimes you do.
So I can't actually guarantee that Dagon is dead. Although for his sake, that may be better.
Mm-mm.
So
I know what my essay is about.
Would you happen to still have the documents?
Oh, yeah. Read them every night.
We could make copies for you if you'd like.
Yes. Please.
Tiberius, can you do that so that there are 2 copies? Or find someone who can?
sure, I can do that. Of course.
And then we would like the original back.
Okay. Does that mean I don't have to do the essay?
No, you still have to do the essay.
Damn it. Okay.
You see Rosfellum like looking at you, kind of like, I could punch you in the face.
I lean over to him like, I would prefer that.
If the essay isn't good enough, he'll still punch you in the face.
He just punches you in the face. Oh, I couldn't resist. You take like, I don't know, like 10 points of damage.
And Elwin's just kind of sitting there, like, heaves a heavy sigh. She's like, he only had to pay 1,000 gold instead of the 1,500. But you still have to write the essay.
Can he punch me again?
No. No.
Rosalind looks back at you, Lady Edelman, like, come on, come on. Huh?
Well, I don't actually have that much gold. I only have like 200.
So extend the length of the paper.
Looks like someone is writing 4,000 words and doing the dishes. No, never mind. Second
No,
thought.
he's not doing the dishes.
No. Oh, dear Lord. 5,000 words. That's enough.
Okay.
As you guys are chatting, one of the other servants comes down and speaks with you, Lady Elowen, and asks you if you'd like to go begin getting ready for your din with Lion Boy.
With Lion Boy. Yes, I guess I should do that. Do any of you have advice on how to dress for a date that's not a date?
Who are you speaking to?
Any of them. I did say any of you.
Oh. I would say not too revealing, but like I'm available but not available because he's gone somewhere, he's out in the light, but maybe a little flirtatious and show boobs. Show lots of boobs.
And I'm just gonna walk out.
And for the first time, as you walk away, you see Tiberius shaking his head at Rosvalum going, oh, sorry I punched you in the face, but not sorry, really.
It's cool. Yeah, but I'm like lean over to wrestle him and be like, hey, and I want like kind of reveal my face, which is all messed up and like have horns growing out of it.
Rosvalum passes out.
Oh, come on, Rosalind's seen some shit.
He's always getting stuff. He has heart problem now. Well, let's just put that out there. That's canon now. He gets so much stuff thrown on him so fast. No! And he's not prepared for it. He just passes out. It just always happens that way.
I can't lose Rosalind. Next to Tiberius, he's like my most trusted man.
Tiberius goes, oh dear, and splashes a little bit of water. And then he wakes.
Do you know the funny?
What's up?
Do you know the funny thing? I actually have a spell that's called Stop Heart.
Oh. Just don't use it within a certain perimeter of Rosvalum. He might pass away. Alright, so, they actually, more servants, actually, since you guys are already down here and the council room is not used too often anymore, they bring some food down for you guys to eat. Lady Elowen, you get ready. It's I would say it's getting later in the evening, but the sun is starting to go down. Koshko was given some very fine clothes. He is up somewhere in a private room that is guarded, but he is there awaiting, and he, as you walk in, looking very elegant, he extends his hands in kind of like a Beauty and the Beast fashion. He goes over and pulls out the chair and asks for you to sit down.
And I'll sit in the chair.
Okay. And then He goes over to the opposite side of the chair, sits down, and thus begins the date not date, and that's where we're in tonight.
And I'm upstairs in my room writing an essay.
It's like suddenly it's a couple back together with their high schooler.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Interesting. Good character building. Stop the. I think actually the stream went through all the way. I didn't see